There's been an interview that's been on my mind for years and years and years, and that's the one with Emma Watson. She gave an interview in 2019 with Vogue. In it, she shares about feeling loneliness, lack of connection, and isolation, and excluding others from our lives and parts of society.
It's making people feel not included, I think, is it's just such a painful, awful thing to do. And it has such big effects. I guess I'd ask them, have you ever felt that you weren't included?
Yeah.
Have you ever felt yourself not welcome somewhere, not invited?
Have you felt like that?
Yeah,
Yeah. I can see you're emotional.
I have.
In what?
She gets emotional during this interview, and she says something that for me has stuck around for a long, long time is that there's nothing more terrible and nothing more painful and maybe damaging than making others not feel that they're included. I think a big reason this has stuck with me for a long time is because I am a transplant. I am not from Utah, and I've lived here for many years. And basically, since I've been here, I've never felt like I've been part of the culture or the people. I've always felt excluded in many, many ways. And I won't go into too many details because I don't think that's pertinent, honestly. But I'll give you just a couple, just like feelings of what I have experienced just living here. I went to BYU and I remember never feeling connected with the student body. And I always just had more different beliefs and a little bit more nuanced beliefs than others there. And due to this, I felt like I stuck out. And maybe this was partly me and my own mind. But I always felt like I stuck out like a sore thumb. One memory that sticks out to me is when a roommate of mine at BYU, he blamed me for everything that was going to happen badly in the next 4 years in this country because I voted differently than him and the rest of my roommates. And I just remember being so shocked and being like yelled at in my face that someone who, in every other capacity, was very kind and understanding. However, because we had this difference of opinion, there was this anger and this fear almost. I remember moving down to Salt Lake City, and I remember also going to an event where we were going to talk about the church and the gospel and diversity. And I shared my opinions on just like things I felt were important to remind ourselves of history and our history with members of the church and those that have been excluded from membership in many capacities. And there were many there that did not appreciate my comments and bringing things up that were difficult to discuss and difficult to like voice in many ways. And I was told I was a blasphemer, an apostate. I remember going to ward council and sharing my opinions on why our ward wasn't developing. Our ward had diminished greatly from probably an active membership of 140, 150 people to probably an active membership about 30 to 40. A dramatic downshift. And there was many factors to this. But one point I wanted to make at ward council was I wanted to share how many people the perspective on how we practice religion and how we practice our relationship with God and the gospel is different now. Just like culture is different, and I was told by leadership at the meeting that I was wrong, and they dismissed me basically. And that was the last time I like went to ward council. Bring up these experiences not to disparage the church or people, specific people or anyone. I bring up these points to demonstrate that even in a place of worship and even where we are among those who we congregate with and pray with and worship with, there seems to be still high levels of intolerance and exclusionary behavior towards one another, actively or subconsciously. And it's something that I don't think we realize how painful that is. Something that's been a priority for me has been to try to include anyone and everyone who wants to engage and who's looking for a connection, either at church, at work, at anywhere in any space. I try to find those people that are wanting to be included, are looking for connection and companionship. And many of these people, especially in a church setting, there were people who didn't fit the mold, who either were part of the gay community, the queer community, or maybe they had more nuanced beliefs and things, or maybe they had issues with specific things at church. I tried to be very understanding, empathetic towards them, and understand why where they were coming from, and ultimately, I think most of them just wanted connection and just wanted a level of acceptance. And it's been interesting because even after years of kind of doing that, I still get like messages and I get like little like comments from people years later, how even if they're not even part of like the church anymore, they don't go to church anymore, how much they appreciate like my efforts to try to have everyone included and create an atmosphere of acceptance towards others. We are all very familiar with the nativity story and how Christ came to redeem all of us. But I think for me, the one of the most poignant points of the story is how Joseph and Mary, they're going into Bethlehem, and due to everything that's going on in Bethlehem, there is no space for them, for anywhere. They have to end up at a manger, and Christ is born in a trough, born where animals eat. I guess what strikes me most is thinking about if it was anyone else, if it was other people of higher importance, or someone who wasn't from another land, I wonder if there would have been space at the end for them. I wonder if someone could have vouched for Mary or vouched for Joseph. They were a young couple and in a foreign land, and nobody knew them. They had nowhere to go and to be. I think, unfortunately, in the modern age, our expectations and our tolerance for creating these spaces for others has become smaller and smaller and stricter. At the end of the same interview, Emma Watson empathizes with those and tries to understand why we do this.
I understand fearing what you don't know. I understand kind of being like, oh, I don't really understand about this, and I've never met someone, but go and speak. Go look into the whites of someone's eyes that's had this experience, and tell me after you've done that you do not see or feel their humanity or understand their story, or that like there's any part of you that feels that it's okay to make that person not feel included.
I think it's important for us to continually challenge our own beliefs and continually make an effort to those that do not fit maybe the communities that we surround ourselves with normally. And if you are one of those people that feels you don't fit in, there's definitely a community for you out there. Hope this resonates with some of you and in some way can help others out there. I appreciate all of you that listen and have watched this, and I hope you have a great holiday no matter where you are. And I'll talk to you later.